Evet. You cannot bring a soap, you cannot bring the round and then place. I didn't get a week and not you want to overpower our will. I think we need to feel it. I should be. You know how to be right.
No power. 3 days, no power, man. Yeah. It has 4%. Yeah, again with the charging. But you have to be charging. You have to be charging. I'm not charging. It's just here. Facebook what? Yeah, I have it, but it's not logged in. 13. It shall come about if you listen obediently to my commandments, which I am commanding you today, to the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and your soul. 14. That he will give the rain for your land in its season, the early and late rain, that you may gather in your grain and your new wine and your oil. 15. He will give grass in your fields for your cattle, and you will eat and be satisfied. 16. Beware that your hearts are not deceived, and that you do not turn away and serve other gods and worship them. 17. Oh, the anger of the Lord will be kindled against you, and he will shut up the heavens, so that there will be no rain, and the ground will not yield its fruit, and you will perish quickly from the good land which the Lord is giving you. 18. You shall therefore impress these words of mine on your heart and on your soul, and you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontals on your forehead. 19. You shall teach them to your sons, telling of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk along the road, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. 20. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. 21. So that your days and the days of your sons may be multiplied on the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give them, as long as the heavens remain above the earth. 22. For if you are careful to keep all these commandments which I am commanding you to do, to love the Lord your God, to walk in all his ways and hold fast to him. 23. Then the Lord will drive out all these nations from before you, and you will dispossess nations greater and mightier than you. 24. Every place on which the sole of your foot treads shall be yours. Your border will be from the wilderness to Lebanon, and from the river Euphrates, as far as the western sea. 25. No man will be able to stand before you. The Lord your God will lay the dread of you and the fear of you on all the land on which you set foot, as he has spoken to you. Deuteronomy 11, New American Standard Bible. 26. See, I am setting you before today a blessing and a curse. 27. The blessing, if you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I am commanding you today. And 28. And the curse, if you do not listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, but turn aside from the way which I am commanding you today by following other gods which you have not known. 29. It shall come about when the Lord your God brings you into the land where you are entering to possess it, that you shall place the blessing on Mount Gerizim and the curse on Mount Ebal. 30. Are they not across the Jordan, west of the way toward the sunset, in the land of the Canaanites, who live in the Abrahah, opposite Gilgal, beside the oaks of Moreh? 31. For you are about to cross the Jordan to go in to possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you, and you shall possess it and live in it. 32. And you shall be careful to do all the statutes and the judgments which I am setting before you today. Deuteronomy 12, New American Standard Bible 1. These are the statutes and the judgments which you shall carefully observe in the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you to possess as long as you live on the earth. 2. You shall utterly destroy all the places where the nations whom you shall possess serve their gods on the high mountains and on the hills and under every green tree. 3. You shall tear down their altars and smash their sacred pillars and burn their Asherim with fire, and you shall cut down the engraved images of their gods and obliterate their name from that place. 4. You shall not act like this toward the Lord your God. 5. But you shall seek the Lord at the place which the Lord your God will choose from all your tribes to establish his name. Therefore, his dwelling, and there shall come. 6. There you shall bring your burnt offerings, your sacrifices, your tithes, the contribution of your hand, your votive offerings, your free will offerings, and the firstborn of your herd and of your flock. 7. There also you and your households shall eat before the Lord your God, and rejoice in all your undertakings in which the Lord your God has blessed you. 8. You shall not do at all what we are doing here today, every man doing whatever is right in his own eyes. 9. For you have not as yet come to the resting place and the inheritance which the Lord your God is giving you. 10. When you cross the Jordan and live in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, and he gives you from rest all your enemies around you, so that you live in security. 11. Then it shall come about that the place in which the Lord your God will choose for his name to dwell, there you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes and the contribution of your hand, and all your choice votive offerings which you will vow to the Lord. 12. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion or inheritance with you. 13. Be careful that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every cultic place you see. 14. But in the place which the Lord chooses in one of your tribes, there you shall offer your burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. 15. However, you may slaughter and eat meat within any of your gates, whatever you desire, according to the blessing of the Lord your God, which he has given you. The unclean and the clean may eat of it, as of the gazelle and the deer. 16. Only you shall not eat the blood. You are to pour it out of the ground like water. 17. You are not allowed to eat within your gates the tithes of your grain, or new wine, or oil, or the firstborn of your herd or flock, or any of the votive offerings which you vow, or your free will offerings, or the contribution of your hand. 18. But you shall eat them before the Lord your God in the place which the Lord your God will choose, you and your son and daughter, and your male and female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God in all your undertakings. 19. Be careful that you do not forsake the Levite as long as you live in your land. 20. When the Lord your God extends your border as he has promised you, and you say, I will eat meat, because you desire to eat meat, then you may eat meat, whatever you desire. 21. If the place which the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you, then you may slaughter of your herd and flock with which the Lord has given you, as I have commanded you, and you may eat within your gates, whatever you desire. 22. Just as a gazelle or a deer is eaten, so you will eat it. The unclean and the clean alike may eat of it. 23. Only be sure not to eat the blood, for the blood is the life, and you shall not eat the life with the flesh. Deuteronomy 12, New American Standard Bible. 24. You shall not eat it, you shall pour it out on the ground like water. 25. You shall not eat it, so that it may be well with you and your sons after you, for you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Lord. 26. Only your holy things which you may have and your votive offerings you shall take and go to the place which the Lord chooses. 27. And you shall offer your burnt offerings, the flesh and the blood, on the altar of the Lord your God, and the blood of your sacrifices shall be poured out on the altar of the Lord your God, and you shall eat the flesh. 28. Be careful to listen to all these words which I command you, so that it may be well with you and your sons after you forever. For you will be doing what is good and right in the sight of the Lord your God. 29. When the Lord your God cuts off before you the nations which you are going in to disposes, and you dispossess disposes them and dwell in their land. 30. Beware that you are not ensnared to follow them after they are destroyed before you, and that you do not inquire after their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods, that I also may do likewise. 31. You shall not behave thus toward the Lord your God, for every abominable act which the Lord hates they have done for their gods, for they even burn their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. 32. Whatever I command you, you shall be careful to do. You shall not add to nor take away from it. Deuteronomy 13, New American Standard Bible. 1. If a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you and gives you a sign or a wonder, 2. And the sign or the wonder comes true, concerning which he spoke to you, saying, let us go after other gods whom you have not known, and let us serve them. 3. You shall not listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you not to listen to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for the Lord your God is testing you to find out if you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. 14. You shall follow the Lord your God and fear him, and you shall keep his commandments, listen to his voice, serve him, and cling to him. 5. But that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has counseled, counseled rebellion against the Lord your God, who brought you from the land of Egypt and redeemed you from the house of slavery, to seduce you from the way in which the Lord your God commanded you to walk. So you shall purge the evil from among you. 16. If your brother, your mother's son, or your son or daughter, or the wife you cherish, or your friend whom is as your own soul, entice you separately, saying, let us go and serve other gods, whom neither you nor your fathers have known. 7. Of the gods of the peoples who are around you, near you, or far from you, from one end of the earth to the other end. 8. You shall not yield to him or listen to him, and your eye shall not pity him, nor shall you spare or conceal him. 9. But you shall surely kill him. Your hand shall be fast against him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. 10. So you shall stone him to death, because he has sought to seduce you from the Lord your God, who brought you out from the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. 11. Then all Israel will hear and be afraid, and will never again do such a wicked thing among you. 12. If you hear in one of your cities, which the Lord your God is giving you to live in, anyone saying that some worthless men have gone out from among you and have seduced the inhabitants of their city, saying, let us go and serve other gods whom you have not known. 14. Then you shall investigate and search out and inquire thoroughly if it is true, and the matter established that this abomination has been done among you. 15. You shall surely strike the inhabitants of that city with the edge of the sword, utterly destroying it and all that is in it, and its cattle with the edge of the sword. 16. Then you shall gather all its booty in the middle of its open square, and burn the city and all its booty with fire as a wall burnt offering to the Lord your God, and it shall be a ruin forever. It shall never be rebuilt. 17. Nothing from that which is put under the ban shall cling to your hand, in order that the Lord may turn from his burning anger and show mercy to you, and have compassion on you, and make you increase, just as he has sworn to your fathers. 18. If you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, keeping all his commandments, which I am commanding you today, and doing what is right in the sight of the Lord your God. Deuteronomy 14, New American Standard Bible. 1. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor shave. 1. Deuteronomy. You are the sons of the Lord your God. You shall not cut yourselves, nor shave your forehead for the sake of the dead. 2. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God, and the Lord has chosen you to be a people for his own possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth. 3. You shall not eat any detestable thing, for these are the animals which you may eat: the ox, the sheep, the goat, the deer, the gazelle, the roebuck, the wild goat, the ibex, the antelope, and the mountain sheep. 6. Any animal that divides the hoof and has the hoof split in two, and the claws, the cud among the animals that you may eat. 7. Nevertheless, you are not to eat of these among those which chew the cud, or among those that divide the hoof in two, the camel and the rabbit and the shepherd. For though they chew the cud, they do not divide the hoof, they are unclean for you. 8. The pig, because it divides the hoof, but does not chew the cud, it's unclean for you. You shall not eat any of their flesh, nor touch their carcasses. 9. These you may eat of all that are in water. Anything that has fins and scales you may eat. 11. 10. But anything that does not have fins and scales you shall not eat. It's unclean for you. 11. You may eat any clean bird. 12. But these are the ones which you shall not eat: the eagle and the vulture and the buzzard. 13. And the red kit and the falcon and the kite in their kinds. 14. And every raven in its kind. 15. And the ostrich, the owl, the seagull and the hawk in their kinds. 16. The little owl, the great owl, the white owl. 17. The pelican, the carrion vulture, the cormorant. 18. The stork, S-T-O-R-K, stork, the stork, and the heron in their kinds, and the hoopoe, and the bat. 19. And all the teeming life with wings are unclean to you, they shall not be eaten. 20. You may eat any clean bird. 21. You shall not eat anything which dies of itself. You may give it to the alien who is in your town, so that he may eat it, or you may sell it to a foreigner. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God. You shall not boil a young goat in its mother's milk. 22. You shall surely tithe, teach all the produce from what you sow, which comes out of the field every year. 23. You shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God, at the place where he chooses to establish his name, the tithe of your grain, your new wine, your oil, and the firstborn of your herd, and your flock, so that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. 24. If the distance is so great for you that you are not able to bring the tithe, since the place where the Lord your God chooses to set his name is too far away from you when the Lord your God blesses you. 25. Then you shall exchange it for money, and bind the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. 26. You may spend the money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen, or sheep, or wine, or strong drink, or whatever your heart desires, and there you shall eat in the presence of the Lord your God, and rejoice, you and your household. 27. Also you shall not neglect the Levite who is in your town, for he has no portion or inheritance among you. 28. At the end of every third year you shall bring out all the tithe of your produce in that year, and shall deposit it in your town. 29. The Levite, because he has no portion or inheritance among you, and the alien, the orphan, and the widow who are in your town shall come and eat and be satisfied, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hand which you do. Deuteronomy 15, New American Standard Bible. 1. At the end of every 7 years you shall grant a remission of debts. 2. 2. This is the manner of remission. Every creditor shall release what he has loaned to his neighbor. He shall not exact it of his neighbor and his brother, because the Lord's remission has been proclaimed. From a foreigner you may exact it, but your hand shall release whatever of yours is with your brother. 4. However, there will be no poor among you, since the Lord will surely bless you in the land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance to possess. 5. If only you listen obediently to the voice of the Lord your God, to observe carefully all this commandment which I'm commanding you today. 6. For the Lord your God will bless you as he has promised you, and you will lend to many nations, but you will not borrow, and you will rule over many nations, but they will not rule over you. 7. If there is a poor man with you, one of your brothers, in any of your towns in your land which the Lord your God is giving you, you shall not harden your heart, nor close your hand from your poor brother. 8. But you shall freely open your hand to him, and shall generously lend him sufficient for his need in whatever he lacks. 9. Beware that there is no base thought in your heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of remission, is near, and your eye is hostile toward your poor brother, and you give him nothing. Then he may cry to the Lord against you, and it will be a sin in you. 10. You shall generously give to him, and your heart shall not be grieved when you give to him, because for this thing the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all your undertakings. 11. For the poor will never cease to be in the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall freely open your hand to your brother, to your needy and poor in your land. 12. If your kinsman, a Hebrew man or woman, is sold to you, then he shall serve you 6 years, but in the 7th year you shall set him free. 13. When you set him free, you shall not send him away empty-handed. 14. You shall furnish him liberally from your flock, and from your threshing floor, and from your wine vat. You shall give to him as the Lord your God has blessed you. 15. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you. Therefore, I command you to this day. 16. I shall come about if he says to you, I will not go out from you, because he loves you and your household, since he fares well with you. 17. Then you shall take an awl and pierce it through his ear into the door, and he shall be your servant forever. Also you shall do likewise to your maid servant. 18. You shall not seem hard to you when you set him free, for he has given you 6 years with double the service of a hired man. So the Lord your God will bless you in whatever you do. 19. You shall consecrate to the Lord your God all the firstborn males that are born of your herd and of your flock. You shall not work with the firstborn of your herd, nor share the firstborn of your flock. 20. You and your household shall eat every year before the Lord your God in the place which the Lord chooses. 21. But if it has any defect, such as lameness, blindness, or any serious defect, you shall not sacrifice this to the Lord your God. 22. You shall eat within your gates. The unclean and the clean alike may eat it, as a gazelle or a deer. 23. Only you shall not eat its blood. You are to pour it out on the ground like water. Deuteronomy 16, New American Standard Bible. 1. Observe the month of Abib. And what's the month of Abib? Observe the month of Abib. The month of Abib. The month of Abib. That's the month of Abib. What's the month of Abib? What's the month of Abib? What's the month of Abib? The month of Abib. The month of Abib is the first month of the Jewish sacred calendar, typically running from mid-March to mid-April. It is significant as it marks the time when the Passover occurred, commemorating the liberation of Israelites from Egypt. The name Abib means green ears of grain and is linked to the ripening of barley, which determines the timing of this month. The month of Abib is also associated with the feast of unleavened bread, which begins on the 15th day of Abib. And celebrate the Passover to the Lord your God. For in the month of Abib, the Lord your God brought you out of Egypt by night. By night, 2, you shall sacrifice the Passover to the Lord your God from the flock and the herd in the place where the Lord chooses to establish his name. 3, you shall not eat leavened bread with it. 7 days you shall eat with it unleavened bread, the bread of affliction, for you came out of the land of Egypt in haste, so that you may remember all the days of your life, that the day when you came out of the land of Egypt. 14, for 7 days no leaven shall be seen with you in all your territory, and none of the flesh which you sacrifice on the evening of the first day shall remain overnight until morning. 5, you are not allowed to sacrifice the Passover in any of your towns which the Lord your God is giving you. 6, but at the place where the Lord your God chooses to establish his name, you shall sacrifice the Passover in the evening at sunset at the time that you came out of Egypt. 7, you shall cook and eat it in the place which the Lord your God chooses. In the morning you are to return to your tents. 8, 6 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there shall be a solemn assembly to the Lord your God. You shall do no work on it. 9, you shall count 7 weeks for yourself. You shall begin to count 7 weeks from the time you begin to put the sickle to the standing grain. 10, then you shall celebrate the feast of the weeks to the Lord your God with a tribute of a free will offering of your hand, which you shall give just as the Lord your God blesses you. 11, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your son and your daughter and your male servant and your male servants and the Levite who is in your town, and the stranger and the orphan and the widow who are in your midst, in the place where the Lord your God chooses to establish his name. 12, you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and you shall be careful to observe these statutes. 13, you shall celebrate the feast of booths 7 days after you have gathered in from your threshing floor and your wine vat. 14, and you shall rejoice in your feast, you and your son and your daughter and your male and female servants and the Levite and the stranger and the orphan and the widow who are in your towns. 15, 7 days you shall celebrate a feast to the Lord your God in the place which the Lord chooses, because the Lord your God will bless you in all your produce and in all the work of your hands, so that you will be altogether joyful. 16, 3 times in a year all your males shall appear before the Lord your God in a place which he chooses, at the feast of unleavened bread and at the feast of weeks and at the feast of booths, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty-handed. 17, every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing of the Lord your God which he has given you. 18, you shall appoint for yourself yourself judges and officers in all your towns which the Lord your God is giving you according to your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment. 19. You shall not distort justice, you shall not be partial, and you shall not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the eyes of the wise and perverts the words of the righteous. 20. Justice and only justice you shall pursue, that you may live and possess the land which the Lord your God is giving you. 21. You shall not plant for yourself an Asherah of any kind of tree beside the altar of the Lord your God, which you shall make for yourself. 22. You shall not set up for yourself a sacred pillar which the Lord your God hates. Deuteronomy 17, New American Standard Bible. 1. You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or a sheep which has a blemish or any defect, for that is a detestable thing to the Lord your God. 2. If there is found in your midst any of your towns which the Lord your God is giving you, a man or a woman who does what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God by trespassing his covenant. 3. And he has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, or the sun, or the moon, or any of the heavenly host which I have not commanded. 4. And if it is told you and you have heard of it, then you shall inquire thoroughly. Behold, if it is true and the thing certain that this detestable thing has been done in Israel. 5. Then you shall bring out that man or that woman who has done this evil deed to your gates, that is the man or the woman, and shall stone them to death. 16. On the evidence of 2 witnesses or 3 witnesses, he who is to die shall be put to death. He shall not be put to death on the evidence of 1 witness. 7. The hand of the witness shall be fast against him to put him to death, and afterward to the hand of all the people. So you shall purge the evil from your midst. 8. If any case is too difficult for you to decide between one kind of homicide or another, between one kind of lawsuit or another, and between one kind of assault or another, being cases of dispute in your courts, then you shall arise and go up to the place which the Lord your God chooses. 9. So you shall come to the Levitical priest or the judge who is in office in those days, and you shall inquire of them, and they will declare to you the verdict in the case. 10. You shall do according to the terms of the verdict which they declare to you from that place which the Lord chooses, and you shall be careful to observe according to all that they teach you. 11. According to the terms of the law which they teach you, according to the verdict which they tell you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside from the word which they declare to you, to the right or to the left. 12. The man who acts presumptuously by not listening to the priest who stands there to serve the Lord your God, nor to the judge, that man shall die. Thus you shall purge the evil from thus you shall purge purge the evil from Israel. 13. Then all the people will hear and be afraid, and will not act presumptuously again. 14. When you enter the land which the Lord your God gives you, and you possess it and live in it, and you say, I will set a king over me like all the nations who are around me. 15. You shall surely set a king over you, whom the Lord your God chooses, one from among your countrymen. You shall set as king over yourselves. You may not put a foreigner over yourselves who is not your countryman. 16. Moreover, he shall not multiply horses for himself, nor shall he cause the people to return to Egypt to multiply horses, since the Lord has say to you, you shall never again return that way. 17. He shall not multiply wives for himself, or else his heart will turn away, nor shall he greatly increase silver and gold for himself. 18. Now it shall come about when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, he shall write for himself a copy of this law on a scroll in the presence of the Levitical priests. 19. It shall be with him, and he shall read it it all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God by carefully observing all the words of this law and the statutes. 20. That his heart may not be lifted up above his countrymen, and that he may not turn aside from the commandment to the right or to the left, so that he and his sons may continue long in his kingdom in the midst of Israel. Deuteronomy 18, New American Standard Bible 1. The Levitical priests, the whole tribe of Levi shall have no portion or inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the Lord's offerings by fire, and his portion too. They shall have no inheritance among their countrymen. The Lord is their inheritance, as he has promised them. 3. Now these shall be the priests due from the people, from those who offer a sacrifice, either an ox or a sheep, of which they shall give to the priest the shoulder and the 2 checks and the stomach. For you shall give him the first fruits of your grain, your new wine, and your oil, and the first shearing of your shearing of your sheep. 5. For the Lord your God has chosen him and his sons from all your tribes to stand and serve in the name of the Lord forever. 6. Now if a Levite comes from any of your towns throughout Israel where he resides, and comes whenever he desires to the place which the Lord chooses. 7. Then he shall serve in the name of the Lord his God like all his fellow Levites who stand there before the Lord. 8. They shall eat equal portions except what they receive from the sale of their father's estate. 9. And when you enter the land which the Lord your God gives you, you shall not learn to imitate the detestable things of those nations. 10. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through fire, one who uses divination, one who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, a sorcerer. 11. Or one who casts a spell, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead. 12. Whoever does these things is detestable to the Lord, and because of these detestable things, the Lord your God will drive them out before you. 13. You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. 14. For those nations which shall dispose, listen to those who practice witchcraft and to the diviners. But as for you, the Lord your God has not allowed you to do so. 15. The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from among you, from your countrymen. You shall listen to him. 16. This is according to all that you asked of the Lord your God in Horeb on the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of the Lord my God. Let me not see this great fire anymore, or I will die. 17. The Lord said to me, they have spoken well. 18. I will rise up a prophet from among their countrymen like you, and I will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak to them all that I command him. 19. It shall come about that whoever will not listen to my words, which he shall speak in my name, I myself will require it of him. 20. By the prophet who speaks a word presumptuously in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or which he speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet shall die. 21. You may say in your heart, how will we know the word which the Lord has not spoken. 22. When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing does not come about or come true, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken. The prophet has spoken it presumptuously. You shall not be afraid of him. Deuteronomy 19, New American Standard Bible. New American Standard Bible. When the Lord your God cuts off the nations whose land the Lord your God gives you, and you disperse them and settle in their cities and in their houses too, you shall set aside 3 cities for yourself in the midst of your land, which the Lord your God gives you to possess. 3. You shall prepare the roads for yourself and divide into 3 parts the territory of your land, which the Lord your God will give you as a possession, so that any manslayer may flee there. 4. Now this is the case of the manslayer who may flee there and live, when he kills his friend unintentionally, not hating him previously. 5. As when a man goes into the forest with his friend to cut wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down the tree, and the iron head slips off the handle and strikes his friend so that he dies, he may flee to one of these cities and live. 6. Otherwise the avenger of blood might pursue the manslayer in the heat of his anger and overtake him, because the way is long, and take his life, though he was not deserving of death, since he had not hated him previously. 7. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall set aside 3 cities for yourself. 8. If the Lord your God enlarges your territory, just as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land which he promised to give your fathers. 9. If you carefully observe all this commandment which I command you today, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in his ways always, then you shall add 3 more cities for yourself besides these 3. 10. So innocent blood will not be shed in the midst of your land, which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance, and blood guiltiness be on you. 11. But if there is a man who hates his neighbor and lies in wait for him, and rises up against him and strikes him so that he dies, and he flees to one of these cities, 12, then the elders of his city shall send and take him from there, and deliver him into the hand of the avenger of blood, that he may die. 13. You shall not pity him, but you shall purge the blood of the innocent from Israel, that may go well with you. 14. You shall not move your neighbor's boundary mark, which the ancestors have set in your inheritance, which you will inherit in the land that the Lord your God gives you to possess. 15. A single witness shall not rise up against a man on account of any iniquity or any sin which he has committed. On the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter shall be confirmed. 16. If a malicious witness rises up against a man to accuse him of wrongdoing, 17, then both the men who have the dispute shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who will be in office in those days. 18. The judges shall investigate thoroughly, and if the witness is a false witness and he has accused his brother falsely. 19. Then you shall do to him just as he has intended to do to his brother. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. 20. The rest will hear and be afraid, and will never again do such an evil thing among you. 21. Thus you shall not show pity, life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Deuteronomy 20, New American Standard Bible 1. When you go out to battle against your enemies and see horses and chariots and people move more numerous than you, do not be afraid of them, for the Lord your God who brought you up from the land of Egypt is with you. 2. When you are approaching the battle, the priest shall come near and speak to the people. 3. He shall say to them, Hear, O Israel, you are approaching the battle against your enemies today. Do not be faint-hearted. Do not be afraid or panic or tremble before them. 4. For the Lord your God is the one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. 5. The officers also shall speak to the people, saying, Who is the man that has built a new house and has not dedicated it? Let him depart and return to his house, otherwise he might die in the battle, and another man would detect it. 6. Who is the man that has planted a vineyard and has not begun to use its fruit? Let him depart and return to his house, otherwise he might die in the battle, and another man would begin to use its fruit. 7. And who is the man that is engaged to a woman and has not married her? Let him depart and return to his house, otherwise he might die in the battle, and another man would marry her. 8. Then the officer shall speak further to the people and say, Who is the man that is afraid and faint-hearted? Let him depart and return to his house, so that he might not make his brother's heart melt like his heart. 9. When the officers have finished speaking to the people, they shall appoint commanders of armies at the head of the people. 10. When you approach a city to fight against it, you shall offer it terms of peace. 11. If it agrees to make peace with you and opens to you, then all the people who are formed in it shall become your forced labor and shall serve you. 12. However, if it does not make peace with you, but makes war against you, then you shall besiege, besiege it. 13. When the Lord your God gives it into your hand, you shall strike all the men in it with the edge of the sword. 14. Only the women and the children and the animals and all that is in the city, all its spoil, you shall take as booty for yourself, and you shall use the spoil of your enemies which the Lord your God has given you. 15. Thus you shall do to all the cities that are very far from you, which are not of the cities of these nations nearby. 16. Only the cities of these peoples that the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance, you shall not leave alive anything that breathes. 17. But you shall utterly destroy them, the Hittite and the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Perizzite, the Hivite and the Jebusite, as the Lord your God has commanded you. 18. So that they may not teach you to do according to all their detestable things which they have done for their gods, so that you would sin against the Lord your God. 19. When you besiege, besiege a city a long time to make war against it in order to capture it, you shall not destroy its trees by swinging an axe against them, for you may eat from them, and you shall not cut them down. For is the tree of the field a man that it should be beside by you? 20. Only the trees which you know are not fruit trees you shall destroy and cut down, that you may construct siege works against the city that is making war with you until it falls. Deuteronomy 21, New American Standard Bible. 1. If a slain person is found lying in the open country in the land which the Lord your God gives you to possess, and it is not known who has struck him, 2. Then your elders and your judges shall go out and measure the distance to the cities which are around the slain one. 13. It shall be that the city which is nearest to the slain man, that is the elders of that city shall take a heifer, heifer, heifer of the herd which has not been worked and which has not pulled in a yoke. 4. And the elders of the city shall bring the heifer down to a valley with running water, which has not been plowed or sown, and shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. 5. Then the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come near, for the Lord your God has chosen them to serve him and to bless in the name of the Lord. And every dispute and every assault shall be settled by them. 6. All the elders of that city which is nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the city. 7. And they shall answer and say, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it. 8. Forgive your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, O Lord, and do not place the guilt of innocent blood in the midst of your people Israel, and the blood guiltiness shall be forgiven them. 9. So you shall remove the guilt of innocent blood from your midst when you do what is right in the eyes of the Lord. 10. When you go out to battle against your enemies and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands, and you take them away captive, and you take them away captive. 11. And see among the captives a beautiful woman, and have a desire for her, and would take her as a wife for yourself. 12. Then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. 13. She shall also remove the clothes of her captivity, and shall remain in your house, and mourn her father and mother a full month. And after that you may go in to her, and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. 14. It shall be, if you are not pleased with her, then you shall let her go wherever she wishes, but you shall certainly not sell her for money. You shall not mistreat her, because you have humbled her. 15. If a man has two wives, the one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him sons, if the firstborn son belongs to the unloved. 16. Then it shall be in the day he wills what he has to his sons, he cannot make the son of the loved the firstborn before the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn. 17. But he shall acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the unloved, by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the beginning of his strength. To him belongs the right of the firstborn. 18. If any man has a stubborn and rebellious son, who will not obey his father or his mother, and when they justice him, he will not even listen to them. 19. Then his father and mother shall seize him and bring him out to the elders of his city at the gateway of his hometown. 20. They shall say to the elders of his city, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. 21. Then all the men of his city shall stone him to death. So you shall remove the evil from your midst, and all Israel will hear of it and fear. 22. If a man has committed a sin worth of death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on a tree. 23. His corpse shall not hang all night on the tree, but you shall surely bury him on the same day. For he who is hanged is accursed of God, so that you do not defile your land with the Lord your God, which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance. Deuteronomy 22 American Standard Bible 1. You shall not see your country's ox or his sheep straying away, and pay no attention to them. You shall certainly bring them back to your countryman. 2. If your countryman is not near you, or if you do not know him, then you shall bring it home to your house, and it shall remain with you until your countryman looks for it. Then you shall restore it to him. 3. That you shall do with his donkey, and you shall do the same with his garment, and you shall do likewise with anything lost by your countryman, which he has lost and you have found. You are not allowed to neglect them, for you shall not see your countryman's donkey or his ox fallen down on their way and pay no attention to them. You shall certainly help him to raise them up. 5. A woman shall not wear man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. 6. If you happen to come upon a bird's nest along the way, in a tree or on the ground, with young ones or eggs, and the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young. 7. You shall certainly let the mother go, but the young ones you may take for yourself, in order that it may be well with you, and that you may prolong your days. 8. When you build in your house, you shall make a parapet for your roof, so that you will not bring blood guilt on your house if anyone falls from it. 9. You shall not sow your vineyard with 2 kinds of seed, or all the proceeds of the seed which you have sown, and the increase of the vineyard will become defiled. 10. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. 11. You shall not wear a material mixed of wool and linen together. 12. You shall make yourself tassels on the 4 corners of your garment, with which you cover yourself. 13. If any man takes a wife and goes in to her and then turns against her, 14, and charges her with shameful deeds and publicly defends her and says, I took this woman, but when I came near her, I did not find her a virgin. 15. Then the girl's father and her mother shall take and bring out the evidence of the girl's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. 16. The girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man for a wife, but he turned against her. 17. And behold, he has charged her with shameful deeds, saying, I did not find your daughter a virgin, but this is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the garment before the elders of the city. 18. So the elders of that city shall take the man and chastise and chastise him. 19. And they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give it to the girl's father, because he has publicly defamed a virgin of Israel, and she shall remain his wife. He cannot divorce her all his days. 20. But if this charge is true that the girl was not found a virgin, 21. Then they shall bring out the girl to the doorway of her father's house, and the men of the city shall stone her to death, because she has committed an act of folly in Israel by playing the harlot in her father's house. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. 22. If a man is found laying with a married woman, then both of them shall die, the man who lay with the woman and the woman. Thus you shall purge evil from Israel. 23. If there is a girl who is a virgin engaged to a man, and another man finds her in the city and lies with her, 24. Then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and you shall stone them to death, the girl because she did not cry out in the city, and the man because he has violated his neighbor's wife. Thus you shall purge the evil from among you. Deuteronomy 10, New American Standard Bible 10:5. But if in their field the man finds the girl who is engaged, and the man forces her and lies with her, then only the man who lies with her shall die. And 6. But you shall do nothing to the girl. There is no sin in the girl worthy of death. For just as a man rises against his neighbor and murders him, so is this case. 7. When he found her in the field, the engaged girl cried out, but there was no one to save her. 28. If a man finds a girl who is a virgin, who is not engaged, and seizes her and lies with her, and they are discovered, 29. Then the man who lay with her shall give to the girl's father 50 shekels of silver, and shall become his wife, because he has violated her. He cannot divorce her all his days. 30. A man shall not take his father's wife, so that he will not uncover his father's skirt. Deuteronomy 10:3, New American Standard Bible 1. No one is emasculated or has his male organ cut off shall enter the assembly of the Lord. 22. No one of illegitimate birth shall enter the assembly of the Lord. None of his descendants, even to the 10th generation, shall enter the assembly of the Lord. 3. No Ammonite or Moabite shall enter the assembly of the Lord. None of their descendants, even to the 10th generation, shall ever enter the assembly of the Lord. 4. Because they did not meet you with food and water on the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam the son of Beor from Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse you. 5. Nevertheless, the Lord your God was not willing to listen to Balaam, but the Lord your God turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. 6. You shall never seek their peace or their prosperity all your days. 7. You shall not detest an Edomite, for he is your brother. You shall not detest an Egyptian, because you were an alien in his land. 8. The sons of the third generation who are born to them may enter the assembly of the Lord. 9. When you go out as an army against your enemies, you shall keep yourself from every evil thing outside the camp. He may not re-enter the camp. 11. But it shall be when evening approaches, he shall bathe himself with water, and at sundown he may re-enter the camp. 12. You shall also have a place outside the camp and go out there. 13. And you shall have a spade among your tools, and it shall be when you sit down outside, you shall dig with it, and shall turn to cover up your excrement. excrement, excrement. 14. Since the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to deliver you and to defeat your enemies before you, therefore your camp must be holy, and he must not see anything indecent among you, or he will turn away from you. 15. You shall not hand over to his master a slave who has escaped from his master to you. 16. He shall live with you in your midst, in the place which he has. He shall choose in one of your towns where it pleases him. You shall not mistreat him. 17. None of the daughters of Israel shall be a cult prostitute, nor shall any of the sons of Israel be a cult prostitute. 18. You shall not bring the hire of a harlot or the wages of a dog into the house of the Lord your God for any votive offering, for both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. 19. You shall not charge interest to your countrymen, interest on money, food, or anything that may be loaned at interest. 20. You may charge interest to a foreigner, but to your countrymen you shall not charge interest, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all that you undertake in the land which you are about to enter to possess. 21. When you make a vow to the Lord your God, you shall not delay to pay it, for it would be sin in you, and the Lord your God will surely require it of you. 22. However, if you refrain from vowing, it would not be sin in you. 23. You shall be careful to perform what goes out from your lips, just as you have voluntarily vowed to the Lord your God what you have promised. 24. When you enter your neighbor's vineyard, then you may eat grapes until you are fully satisfied, but you shall not put any in your basket. 25. When you enter your neighbor's standing grain, then you may pluck the heads with your hand, but you shall not wield a sickle in your neighbor's standing grain. Deuteronomy, New American Standard Bible 24. 1. When a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she finds no favor in his eyes because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out from his house. 2. And she leaves his house and goes and becomes another man's wife. 3. And if the latter husband turns against her and writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies who took her to be his wife, for then her former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her again to be his wife, since she has been defiled. For that is an abomination before the Lord, and you shall not bring sin on the land which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance. 5. When a man takes a new wife, he shall not go out with the army, nor be charged with any duty. He shall be free at home 1 year, and shall give happiness to his wife, whom he has taken. 6. No one shall take a handmill or an upper millstone in pledge, for he would be taking a life in pledge. 7. If a man is caught kidnapping any of his countrymen, of the sons of Israel, and he deals with him violently or sells him, then that thief shall die. So you shall purge the evil from among you. 8. Be careful against an infection of leprosy, that you diligently observe and do accordingly to all that the Levitical priests teach you, as I have commanded them, so you shall be careful to do. 9. Remember what the Lord your God did to Miriam on the way as you came out of Egypt. 10. When you make your neighbor a loan of any sort, you shall not enter his house to take his pledge. 11. You shall remain outside, and the man to whom you make the loan shall bring the purge out to you. 12. If he is a poor man, you shall not sleep with his pledge. 13. When the sun goes down, you shall surely return the pledge to him, that he may sleep in his cloak. C-O-C-L-O-A-K, cloak, and bless you, and it will be righteousness for you before the Lord your God. 14. You shall not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether he is one of your countrymen or one of your aliens who is in your land, in your towns. 15. You shall give him his wages on his day before the sun sets, for he is poor and sets his heart on it. So that he will not cry against you to the Lord, and it becomes sin in you. 16. Fathers shall not be put to death for their sons, nor shall sons be put to death for their fathers. Everyone shall be put to death for his own sin. 17. You shall not pervert the justice due an alien or an orphan, nor take a widow's garment in pledge. 18. But you shall remember that you were a slave in Egypt, and that the Lord your God redeemed you from there. Therefore I'm commanding you to do this thing. 19. When you reap your harvest in your field, and have forgotten a sheaf in the field, you shall not go back to get it. It shall be for the alien, for the orphan, and for the widow, in order that the Lord your God may bless you in all the work of your hands. 20. When you beat your olive oil tree, you shall not go over the boughs. B-O-U-G-H-S. B-O-U-G-H-S. Boughs. Again, it shall be for the alien, for the orphan, and for the widow. 21. When you gather When you gather the grapes of your vineyard, you shall not go over it again. It shall be for the alien, for the orphan, and for the widow. 22. You shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Egypt. Therefore I am commanding you to do this thing. Deuteronomy 25, New American Standard Bible 1. If there is a dispute between men and they go to the court, and the court decide their case, and they justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. 2. Then it shall be, if the wicked man deserves to be beaten, the judge shall then make him lie down and be beaten in his presence with the number of the stripes according to his guilt. 3. He may beat him 40 times, but no more, so that you 3. He may beat him 40 times, but no more, so that he does not beat him with many stripes. Than this, and your brother is not degraded in your eyes. 4. You shall not muzzle the ox while he is threshing. 5. When the brothers live together and one of them dies and has no son, the wife of the deceased shall not be married outside the family to a stranger man. Her husband's brother shall go in to her and take her to himself as a wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. 16. It shall be that the firstborn whom she bears shall assume the name of his dead brother, so that his name will not be blotted out from Israel. 7. But if the man dies, if the man does not desire to take his brother's wife, Then his brother's wife shall go up to the gate to the elders and say, my husband's brother refuses to establish a name for his brother in Israel. He is not willing to perform the duty of a husband's brother to me. 8. Then the elders of his city shall summon him and speak to him, and if he persists and says, I do not desire to take her. 9. Then his brother's wife shall come to him in the sight of the elders and pull his sandal off his foot and spit in his face and say, she shall declare, thus it is done to the man who does not build up his brother's house. 10. In Israel his name shall be called the house of him whose sandal is removed. 11. If two men, a man and his countryman, are struggling together, and the wife of one comes near to deliver husband from the hand of the one who is striking him, and puts out her hand and seizes his genitals. 12. Then you shall cut off his hand, you shall not show pity. 13. You shall not have in your bag differing weights, a large and small. 14. You shall not have in your house differing measures, a large and a small. 15. You shall have a full and just weight. You shall have a full and just measure, that your days may be prolonged in the land which the Lord your God gives you. 16. For everyone who does these things, everyone who acts unjustly is an abomination to the Lord your God. 17. Remember what Amalek did to you along the way when you came out from Egypt. 18. How he met you along the way and attacked among you all the stranglers at your rear when you were faint and weary, and he did not fear God. 19. Therefore it shall come about when the Lord your God has given you rest from all your surrounding enemies in the land which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance to possess, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. You must not forget. Deuteronomy 26, New American Standard Bible 1. Then it shall be, when you enter the land which the Lord your God gives you as an inheritance, and you possess it and live in it, 2. That you shall take some of the first of all the produce of the ground which you bring in from your land that the Lord your God gives you, and you shall put it in a basket and go to the place where the Lord your God chooses to establish his name. 3. You shall go to the priest who is in office at that time and say to him, I declare this day to the Lord my God that I have entered the land which the Lord swore to our fathers to give us. 4. Then the priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down before the altar of the Lord your God. 5. You shall answer and say before the Lord your God, my father was a wandering Aramean, and he went down to Egypt and sojourned there, few in number, but there he became a great, mighty, and populous nation. 6. And the Egyptians treated us harshly and afflicted us and imposed hard labor on us. 7. Then we cried to the Lord, the God of our fathers, and the Lord heard our voice and saw our affliction and our toil and our oppression. 8. And the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and with great terror and with signs and wonders. 9. And he has brought us to this place and has given us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. 10. Now behold, I have brought the first of the produce of the ground which you, O Lord, have given me, and you shall set it down before the Lord your God and worship before the Lord your God. 11. And you and the Levite and the alien who is among you shall rejoice in all the good which the Lord your God has given you and your household. 12. When you have finished paying all the tithe of your increase in the third year, the year of tithing, tithing. Then you shall give it to the Levite, to the stranger, to the orphan, and to the widow, that they may eat in your towns and be satisfied. 13. You shall say before the Lord your God, I have removed the sacred portion from my house, and also have given it to the Levite, and the alien, the orphan, and the widow, according to all your commandments which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed or forgotten any of your commandments. 14. I have not eaten of it while on mourning, nor have I removed any of it while I was unclean, nor offered any of it to the dead. I have listened to the voice of the Lord my God. I have done accordingly to all that you have commanded me. 15. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven and bless your people Israel, and the ground which you have given us, a land flowing with milk and honey, as you swore to our fathers. 16. This day the Lord your God commands you to do these statutes and ordinances. You shall therefore be careful to do them with all your heart and with all your soul. 17. You have today declared the Lord to be your God, and that you would walk in his ways and keep his statutes, his commandments, and his ordinances, and listen to his voice. 18. The Lord has today declared you to be his people, a treasured possession, as he promised you, and that you should keep all his commandments. 19. And that he will set you high above all nations which he has made, for praise, fame, and honor, and that you shall be a consecrated people to the Lord your God, as he has spoken. Deuteronomy 27, New American Standard Bible 1. Then Moses and the elders of Israel charged the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you today. 2. So it shall be on the day when you cross the Jordan to the land which the Lord your God gives you, that you shall set up for yourself large stones and coat them with lime. 3. And write on them all the words of this law when you cross over, so that you may enter the land which the Lord your God gives you, a land flowing with milk and honey, as the Lord the God of your fathers promised you. 4. So it shall be when you cross the Jordan, you shall set up on Mountain Ebal these stones as I am commanding you today, and you shall coat them with lime. 5. Moreover, you shall build there an altar to the Lord your God, an altar of stones. You shall not wield an iron tool on them. 16. 6. You shall build the altar of the Lord your God of uncut stones, and you shall offer on it burnt offerings to the Lord your God. 7. And you shall sacrifice peace offerings and eat there, and rejoice before the Lord your God. 8. You shall write on the stones all the words of this law very distinctly. No. DISTINCTLY. 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 9. Then Moses and the Levitical priests spoke to all Israel, saying, be silent and listen, O Israel. This day you have become a people for the Lord your God. 10. You shall therefore obey the Lord your God and do his commandments and his statutes which I command you today. 11. Moses also charged the people on that day, saying, 12. When you cross the Jordan, this shall stand on Mountain Gerizim to bless the people: Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin. 13. For the curse, this shall stand on Mountain Abel: Reuben, Gad, Asahar, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali. 14. The Levites shall then answer and say to all the men of Israel with a loud voice. 15. Cursed is the man who makes an idol or a molten image, an abomination to the Lord, the work of the hands of the craftsman, and sets it up in secret And all the people shall answer and say, Amen. 16. Cursed is he who dishonors his father or mother, and all the people shall say, Amen. 17. Cursed is he who moves his neighbor's boundary mark, and all the people shall say, Amen. 18. Cursed is he who misleads a blind person on the road, and all the people shall say, Amen. 19. Cursed is he who distorts the justice due an alien, orphan, and widow, and all the people say, Amen. 20. Cursed is he who lies with his father's wife, because he has uncovered his father's skirt, and all the people shall say, Amen. 21. Cursed is he who lies with an animal, and all the people shall say, Amen. 22. Cursed is he who lies with his sister, the daughter of his father, or of his mother, and all the people shall say, Amen. 23. Cursed is he who lies with his mother-in-law, and all the people shall say, Amen. 24. Cursed is he who strikes his neighbor in secret, and all the people shall say, Amen. 25. Cursed is he who accepts a bribe to strike down an innocent person, and all the people shall say, Amen. 26. Cursed is he who does not confirm the words of this law by doing them, and all the people shall say, Amen. Deuteronomy 28, New American Standard Bible 1. Now it shall be, if you diligently obey the Lord your God, be careful to do all his commandments, which I command you today. The Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. 2. All these blessings will come upon you and overtake you if you obey the Lord your God. 3. Blessed shall you be blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed shall you be in the country. 4. Blessed shall be the offspring of your body, and the produce of your ground, and the offspring of your beasts, the increase of your herd, and the young of your flock. 5. Blessed shall be your basket and your kindling. K-N-E-A-D-I-N-G. K-N-E-A-D-I-A-N-G. Oh God, that word. Bow. 6. Blessed shall you be when you come in, and blessed shall you be when you go out. 7. The Lord shall cause your enemies who rise up against you to be defeated before you. They will come out against you one way and will flee before you several ways. 8. The Lord will command a blessing upon you in your barns, and in all that you put your hand to, and he will bless you in the land which the Lord your God gives you. 9. The Lord will establish you as a holy people to himself, as he swore to you, if you keep the commandments of the Lord your God and walk in his ways. 10. So all the peoples of the earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will be afraid of you. 11. The Lord will make you abound in prosperity in the offspring of your body, and in the offspring of your beast, and in the produce of your ground, in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers to give you. 12. The Lord will open for you his good storehouse, the heavens, to give rain to your land in its season, and to bless all the work of your hand. And you shall lend to many nations, but you shall not borrow. 13. The Lord will make you the head and not the tail, and you will only be above, and you will not be underneath, if you listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I charge you today, to observe them carefully. 14. And do not turn aside from any of the words which I command you today, to the right or to the left, or to go after other gods to serve them. 15. But it shall come about, if you do not obey the Lord your God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, with which I charge you today, that all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. 16. Cast shall you be in the city, and cast shall you be in the country. 17. Cast shall be your basket, and your nailding bow, nuding bow. 18. Cast shall be the offspring of your body, and the produce of your ground, the increase of your herd, and the young of your flock. 16. Cast shall you be when you come in, and cast shall you be when you go out. 20. The Lord will send upon you curses, confusion, and rebuke in all you undertake to do, until you are destroyed and until you perish quickly on account of the evil of your deeds, because you have forsaken me. 21. The Lord will make the pestilence cling to you until he has consumed you from the land where you are entering to possess. 22. The Lord will smite you with consumption, and with fever, and with inflammation, and with fiery heat, and with the sword, and with blight, and with mildew, and they will pursue you until you perish. 23. The heaven which is over your head shall be bronzen, and the earth which is under you iron. 24. The Lord will make the rain of your land powder, and dust from heaven. It shall come down on you until you are destroyed. Deuteronomy 28, New American Standard Bible. 25. The Lord shall cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You shall go out one way against them, but you will flee several ways before them, and you will be an example of terror to all the kingdoms of earth. 26. Your carcasses will be food to all birds of the sky and to the beasts of the earth, and there will be no one to frighten them away. 27. The Lord will smite you with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, and with a scab, and with a itch from which you cannot be healed. 28. The Lord will smite you with a madness, and with blindness, and with a bewilderment of heart. 29. And you will grope at noon as the blind man gropes in dark, and you will not prosper in your ways, but you will surely be oppressed and robbed continually, with none to save you. 30. You shall be truth a wife, but another man will violate her. You shall build a house, but you will not live in it. You shall plant a vineyard, but you will not use its fruit. 31. Your eggs shall be slaughtered before your eyes, but you will not eat of it. Your donkey shall be torn away from you, and you will not be restored to you. Your sheep shall be given to your enemies, and you will have none to save you. 32. Your sons and your daughters shall be given to another person, to another people, while your eyes look on and yearn for them continually, but there will be nothing you can do. 33. A people whom you do not know shall eat up the produce of your ground, and all your labors, and you will never be anything but oppressed and crushed continually. 34. but you shall be driven mad by the sight of what you see. 35. The Lord will strike you on the knees and legs with sore boils, from which you cannot be healed, from the sole of your foot to the crown of your head. 36. The Lord will bring you and your king, whom you set over you, to a nation which neither you nor your fathers have known, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone. 37. You shall become a horror, a proverb, and a taunt among all the people where the Lord drives you. 38. You shall bring out much seed to the field, but you will gather in little, for the locust will consume it. 39. You shall plant and cultivate vineyards, but you will neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worm will devour them. 40. You shall have olive trees throughout your territory, but you will not anoint yourself with the oil, for your olives will drop off. 41. You shall have sons and daughters, but they will not be yours, for they will go into captivity. 42. The cricket shall possess all your trees and the produce of your ground. 43. The alien who is among you shall rise above you higher and higher, but you will go down lower and lower. 44. He shall lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He shall be the head, and you will be the tail. 45. So all these curses shall come on you and pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you would not obey the Lord your God by keeping his commandments and his statutes which he commanded you. 46. They shall become a sin and a wonder on you and your descendants forever. 47. Because you did not serve the Lord your God with joy and a glad heart for the abundance of all things. 48. Therefore you shall serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness, and in the lack of all things, and he will put an iron yoke on your neck until he has destroyed you. 49. The Lord will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, as the eagle swoops down, a nation whose language you shall not understand. Deuteronomy, New American Standard Bible. Deuteronomy 8, New American Standard Bible. 50. A nation of fierce countenance, who will have no respect for the old, nor show favor to the young. 51. Moreover shall eat the offspring of your herd and the produce of your ground, until you are destroyed, who also leaves you no grain, no wine, or oil, nor the increase of your herd, or the young of your flock, until they have caused you to perish. 52. It shall besiege you in all your towns until your high and fortified walls in which you trusted come down throughout your land, and it shall besiege you in all your towns throughout your land, which the Lord your God has given you. 53. Then you shall eat the offspring of your own body, the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, whom the Lord your God has given you during the siege and the distress by which your enemy will oppress you. 54. The man who is refined and very delicate among you shall be hostile toward his brother and toward the wife he cherishes, and toward the rest of his children who remain. 55. So that he will not give even one of them any of the flesh of his children which he will eat, since he has nothing else left during the siege and the distress by which your enemy will oppress you in all your towns. 56. The refined and delicate woman among you, who would not venture to set the sole of her foot on the ground of the delicateness and the refinement, shall be hostile toward the husband she cherishes, and toward her son and daughter. 57. And toward her afterbirth, which issues from between her legs, and toward her children whom she bears, for she will eat them separately for lack of anything else during the siege and the distress by which your enemy will oppress you in your towns. 58. If you are not careful to observe all the words of this law which are written in this book, to fear this honored and awesome name, the Lord your God, 59. Then the Lord will bring extraordinary plagues on you and your descendants, even severe and lasting plagues and miserable chronic sicknesses. 60. He will bring back on you all the diseases of Egypt, of which you were afraid, and they will cling to you. 61. Also every sickness and every plague which not written in this book, which not written in the book of this law, the Lord will bring. It will bring on you until you are destroyed. 62. Then you shall be left few in number, whereas you were as numerous as the stars of heaven, because you did not obey the Lord your God. 63. It shall come about that as the Lord delighted over you to prosper you and multiply you, so the Lord will delight over you to make you perish and destroy you, and you will be torn from the land where you are entering to possess today. 64. Moreover, the Lord will scatter you among all peoples, from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, and there you shall serve other gods, wood and stone, which you or your fathers have not known. 65. Among those nations you shall find no rest, and there will be no resting place for the sole of your foot, but there the Lord will give you a trembling heart, failing of eyes, and despair of soil. 66. So your life shall hang in doubt before you, and you will be in dread night and day, and shall have no assurance of your life. 67. In the morning you shall say, would that it were evening, and at evening you shall say, would that it were morning, because of the dread of your heart which you dread, and for the sight of your eyes which you will see. 68. The Lord will bring you back to Egypt in ships, by the way about which I spoke to you. You will never see it again, and there you will offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but there will be no buyer. Deuteronomy 29, New American Standard Bible. 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the sons of Israel in the land of Moab, beside the covenant which he had made with them at Horeb. 2. And Moses summoned all Israel and said to them, you have seen all that the Lord did before your eyes in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh and all his servants and all his land. 3. The great trials which your eyes have seen, those great signs and wonders. 4. Yet to this day the Lord has not given you a heart to know, no eyes to see, no ears to hear. 5. I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your clothes have not worn out on you, and your sandal has not worn out of you. 6. You have not eaten bread, nor have you drunk wine or strong drink, in order that you might know that I am the Lord your God. 7. When you reached this place, Sihon the king of Heshbon and Og the king of Bashan came out to meet us for battle, but we defeated them. 8. And we took their land and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half-tribe of the Manassites. 9. So keep the words of this covenant to do them, that you may prosper in all that you do. 10. You stand today, all of you, before the Lord your God, your chiefs, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, even all the men of Israel. 11. Your little ones, your wives, and the alien who is within your camps, from one who chops your wood to the one who draws your water. 12. That you may enter into the covenant which the Lord your God, and into his oath which the Lord your God is making with you today. 13. In order that he may establish you today as his people, and that he may be your God, just as he spoke to you, and as he swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. 14. Now not with you alone am I making this covenant and this oath. 15. But both with those who stand here with us today in the presence of the Lord our God, and with those who are not with us here today. 16. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we came through the midst of the nations through which you passed. 17. Moreover, you have seen their abominations and their idols of wood, stone, silver, and gold, which they had with them. 18. So that there will not be among you a man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turns away today from the Lord our God to go and serve the gods of those nations, that there will not be among you a root bearing poisonous fruit and wormwood. 19. It shall be when he hears the words of this curse, that he will boast, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart in order to destroy the watered land with dry. 20. The Lord shall never be willing to forgive him, but rather the anger of the Lord and his jealousy will burn against that man, and every curse which is written in this book will rest on him, and the Lord will blot out his name from under heaven. 21. Then the Lord will single him out for adversity from all the tribes of Israel, according to all the curses of the covenant which are written in this book of the law. Book of the law. 32. Now the generation to come, your sons who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from the distant land, when they see the plagues of the land and the diseases with which the Lord has afflicted it, will say, 10:3, all its land is brimstone and salt, a burning waste, unsworn and unproductive, and no grass grows in it, like the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboim, which the Lord overthrew in his anger and in his wrath. Therefore, all the nations will say, why has the Lord done thus to this land? Why this great outburst of anger? Deuteronomy 29, New American Standard Bible. 25. Then men will say, because they forsook the covenant of the Lord, the God of their fathers, which he has made with them when he brought them out of the land of Egypt. 26. They went and served other gods and worshipped them, gods whom they have not known and whom he had not allotted to them. 27. Therefore the anger of the Lord burned against that land to bring upon it every curse which is written in this book. 28. And the Lord uprooted them from their land in anger and in fury and in great wrath, and cast them into another land, as it is this day. 29. The sacred things belong to the Lord our God, but the things revealed belong to us and to our sons forever, that we may observe all the words of this law. Deuteronomy 30, New American Standard Bible. 1. So it shall be when all of these things have come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall call them to mind in all nations where the Lord your God has banished you. 2. You return to the Lord your God and obey him with all your heart and soul, according to all that I command you today. I command you today and your sons. 3. Then the Lord your God will restore you from captivity and have compassion on you, and will gather you again from all the peoples where the Lord your God has scattered you. If your outcasts are the ends of the earth, from there the Lord your God will gather you, and from there he will bring you back. 5. The Lord your God will bring you into the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it, and he will prosper you and multiply you more than your fathers. 6. Moreover, the Lord your God will circumcise your heart and the heart of your descendants to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, so that you may live. 7. The Lord your God will inflict all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. 8. And you shall again obey the Lord and observe all his commandments, which I command you today. 9. Then the Lord your God will prosper you abundantly in all the work of your hand, in the offspring of your body, and in the offspring of your cattle, and in the produce of your ground, for the Lord will again rejoice over you for good, just as he rejoiced over your fathers. 10. If you obey the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law, if you turn to the Lord your God with all your heart and soul. 11. For this commandment which I command you today is not too difficult for you, nor is it out of reach. 12. It is not in heaven that you should say, who will go up to heaven for us to get it for us and make us hear it, that we may observe it. 3. 13. Nor is it beyond the sea that you would say, who will cross the sea for us to get it for us and make us hear it, that we may observe it. 14. But the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may observe it. 15. See, I have set before you today life and prosperity, and death and adversity. 16. In that I command you today to love the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that you may live and multiply, and that the Lord your God may bless you in the land where you are entering to possess it. 17. But if your heart turns away and you will not obey, but are drawn away and worship other gods and serve them. 18. I declare to you today that you shall surely perish. You will not prolong your days in the land where you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess it. 19. I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. So choose life in order that you may live, you and your descendants. 20. By loving the Lord your God, by obeying his voice, and by holding fast to him. For this is your life and the length of your days, that you may live in the land which the Lord swore to your fathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give them. Good bugging out.